Alright, so let's look into swaps. The exchange of cash payment obligation between two parties, usually because each party prefers the terms of the other debt's contract. Alright, so let's say a company that have fixed interest rate. Let's say they took a loan, they have to pay 7% fixed interest rate for the next 10 years. On the other hand, another company took a floating rate. Alright, so now they're paying 5%. If let's say the market interest rate increase, they might need to pay higher interest rate. So that is floating. So swaps is where two different companies with two different arrangement for the interest payment. One has fixed, one is floating, and now they don't agree, they don't like their arrangement. So what they do, they swap. The one with the fixed, they swap with the floating, and the one with the floating interest rate will swap with the fixed. Alright, so that is called interest rate swaps or currency swaps. So swaps can reduce each party's financial risk. Alright, that could be a reason, because those who are fixed, they think they are paying high interest rate. Alright, because those who are floating, let's say they are paying lower interest rate, they might think, why am I paying high interest rate? Shall I just go to floating? Then I can save on interest rate. On the other hand, the floating, he might think, alright, I think now it's lower, but next year onwards, I think the interest rate is going to increase, so I better take a fix. So that's the reason companies wanted to swap. Alright. So what is the corporate risk management and why is it important to all firms? Relates to the managements of unpredictable events that would have adverse consequences for the firm. So what is unpredictable events? Like what's happening currently, the COVID-19. No one ever predicts that it's going to happen, right? So when this kind of events, unpredictable events happen, then it's going to give adverse consequences. Bad, right? It's bad for the economy, bad for the company, bad for the people, and so if a company is going to impact their profit, impact their sustainability. So if, for example, if the market interest rates suddenly increases in the future, if they don't mitigate the risk, then it affects adversely to the extent they might not be able to pay the interest. Then if you can't pay the interest, then next thing is what? Bank take legal action and make the company go bankrupt. So that kind of chain effects. So all firms face risk, but the lower those risks can be made more valuable to the firm. Yes, and other things are constant. Right? So if let's say everything else is constant, no changes, a company that able to reduce its risk becomes more valuable. Alright, if you keep everything else is constant, a company that face lower risk or manages with a lower risk, it's more valuable, right? Of course, risk reduction also has a cost. You cannot reduce risk but without doing anything, and every time you want to mitigate the risk, there would be costs, right? For example, you might need to hire a consultant, you might need to hire a staff, a risk department, a CRO. All those will incur additional costs. What are the 3 steps of corporate risk management? The first step would be identifying the risk. You need to know what kind of risk the company is facing. Is it new technology changing the landscape the company is doing business? Or is it financial risk? Or is it business risk? Or is it market risk? So they need to first identify specifically what risk, so that they can move on to the next to measure the potential impact. right? So look at the technology. Last time, all right, maybe 10 years back, all right, radio is a become a vital part of everyone's life. Every house has a radio. Sometimes few radios in the house, right? But now radios is no longer a significant part of the people's life because technology has taken over, replaced it. Because now with phone you can play radio, then you can play YouTube and other choices. All right, you don't need to depend only on radio or only uh, and you don't depend on that instrument equipment to listen to radio, right? Because technology has totally replaced it. So you might need to measure the potential impact, and once you identify the risk, and then next decide how each relevant risk should be handled. How to handle. All right, if a company is selling compact disc CD, now very less people even using CDs. So if a company already identify the risk, measure the potential risk, potential impact, then what do? Maybe you need to do research and development, find what how you're going to change the entire direction of the company, maybe what new products that you're going to produce. All right, or you need to do market research, you need to make more innovative products and so on. So let's look at spot rates and forward rate. Right, so now we're going to get into some calculations. So spot rates and forward rates. Spot rates, spot on the spot means the current rate. What is the rate right now? That is what we call as spot rate. All right. So let's look at for exchange rate. What is the currency is traded for immediate delivery? For example, if I write down a one USD. All right. So if let's say I check the rate immediately. So 1 USD to Malaysia ringgit is, let's say, 4 ringgit 15 cent right now. If I want to buy 1 USD, I have to pay 4 ringgit 15 cent Malaysian ringgit. So that is the spot rate at this moment. If I want to buy 1 USD, how much is it? Alright, what is the exchange rate? So that is called spot rate. On the other hand, forward rate is trading for currencies for the future delivery. Alright, it means what? I want to buy 1 USD in next 6 months from now. And what is the exchange rate at that time? So that is called forward rates. Okay? Reflects the expectation regarding the future value of the currency. So spot rate means currently, yeah, I know it's a real exchange rate current at the moment. Forward rate in next 6 months, you can just create a certain value based on the expectations, alright, the future value of the currency. So discounted premium expressed as an annualized percentage deviation from the spot rate. So your forward rate will be, if it's higher than the spot rate, then it's premium. If it's lower than the spot rate, then it's a discount. Alright, so that's a difference. And let's look at the formula. So forward premium or discount can be calculated like this. Forward rate minus the spot rate divided by the spot rate, then times 12, this is fixed, right, 12 months, divided by length of the forward contract in months. Alright, if 30-day contract means 1 month, so 12 divided by 1. If your length of forward contract is 60 days, then it is 2 months, 12 divided by 2, right, and times 100. So that's an easy formula here. Alright, so class, why don't you pause the video right now, pause it and compute this following example. What is it a discount or premium in the forward market? Is it a 30-day forward premium, 90-day forward premium, 180-day premium, or discount? See, premium means it's a positive value. If you get negative, means it's a discount, right? So class, pause the video and compute the answer. Alright, so once you come back, then you can compare the results. Alright, so let's check the answer. Is it a premium or discount? It is a premium because if you look here, initially your current rate is 0.7521, which means 1 euro equals to 0.7521 USD. Alright, this is the base. So 1 euro equals to how many USD? Only 0.7521. In the future, if the rate increases, that means it's a premium. If the rate drops, then it's a discount. So as you can see, it has increases. So it is a premium. So what about 30-day forward premium? This is the forward rate minus the spot rate divided by the spot rate times 12 divided by 1, because 30-day forward. Alright, so 1 month times 100, we should be getting 25.85 premium. Alright, so your forward premium is 25.85%, and for the 90-day forward rate, where your forward rate is 0.7796 minus the spot rate divided by the spot rate times 12, 90 days means 3 months, times 100, you get 14.63%. And question 4, bye 880 days forward. So you use the rate 0.7842 minus the spot rate divided by spot rate 12 divided by 6 months, 180 days. Therefore you get 8.54%. Alright, so that is the answer for the question. Alright, so before we end the session, so let's look at like a summary, right? So why don't you class answer me? So let's look at FRA futures and options, forward rate agreements, futures and option. So the first character, the criteria here of the first future is over the counter. FRAs, is it over the future? Over the counter? Yes or no? Answer yes. Yes, it's over the counter. You go to the bank, you can negotiate. What about futures? Is it over the counter? The answer is no. It's a futures market. There is no bank who provide you futures. What about options? It is also yes. can go to the bank and you can get options. Alright, OTC. Next features. FRAs. You have to pay upfront payment. The answer is no. You don't need to pay upfront payment of premium for FRAs. For futures, yes, you have to pay upfront payment. Option, you have to pay premium. Okay. What about tailor-made? FRAs, can you go to the bank and ask them to negotiate? Can you negotiate as per your wish, as per your need? Answer is yes. Futures, answer is no. Alright. So standardized contracts. Remember, futures you cannot tailor-made. It is standardized contracts. And what about option? You can also tailor-made. Alright, so if you can see OTC and tailor-made, it's complement each other. If you can go to the over-the-counter, the bank, then you can negotiate. If it's not OTC, of course you cannot negotiate. And what about the last feature, settlement at the end? FRAs, you have to make the settlement at the end. Yes. For futures, do you need to wait and settle at the end? The answer is no. You can settle anytime before. Right? So you can settle anytime. What about option? Is it yes or no? Answer is anytime as well. You can settle anytime. So the answer is also no. Right? So this kind of summarize, right, the differences in the futures between forward rate agreement, futures, and also options. Alright. So with this, we will be completing our lecture sessions. Alright. I mean the chapters, right? We have been completing all the chapters from chapter 1 until chapter 14. Alright. Thank you.